So Mel, let's just discuss why we think uncertainty is going to be such an ongoing topic for leaders to grapple with.
I think, Tim, I take this back to when we designed the concept and the components of the Leadership Now series. And the conversation really started around the fourth industrial revolution and how rapidly things are changing, mostly because of technology, but also because we're becoming more globalized. Things are therefore moving at a much more faster pace. And as a result of that, leaders are having to make decisions a lot faster than what they've been used to historically. And so they're working with a lot more, it's the VUCA concept, right? Of a lot more ambiguity, a lot more complex and uncertain issues. And that's not changing. We saw that then come into effect. I mean, we designed the series late 2019 when we started talking about it. And then we saw come into effect last year, COVID, and the changes that meant to the workplace and what that then meant to how leaders lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I totally down with the VUCA thing, and certainly for us here in Australia, it was kind of like definition of a VUCA year.
Yeah.
I would also sort of add in a little bit of a sprinkling of the wicked problems concept.
Yeah.
A wicked problem being something that's novel and essentially unsolvable by any individual, be that an individual person,
Absolutely.
an organization or country, but also a problem for which there is no precedent and there is no sort of mediation point. Like you either fix it or you don't. And if I think about things like AI and machine learning, which were kind of right there at the top of the topic list in January 2020, and then something else took over. But there's been a paper come out just this morning in the States about AI for weapons systems, and all of a sudden we're like, hang on, these are really big, significant challenges. And I just think that this is just going to go on and on and on. So it's the size, it's the scale, it's the complexity, it's the speed and pace of change. It's all of those things. And that's not going away. It's going to be relentless, one after the other. So yeah, that's why importance is a big deal. And you're going to have to navigate it as a leader, probably if you're listening to this, for the rest of your career.
That takes me back to, what we covered in our first webinar, where we talked about the zones of uncertainty and understanding the experience. And we shared the quadrant tool with the community at that point. So it adds all of that to it. And the other thing is how far reaching the novelty and the speed and the complexity of the situation is. Is it just within our teams? Is it our division? Is it our companies? Is it our industry, environment, state, national, global? So for all those reasons, we think that uncertainty is something that leaders will need to ensure they create some ability and tools and capabilities to navigate it. Because in uncertainty, what people look for is, where's the certainty so that I've got some hope?
Absolutely. Yeah. And what is it that you can call upon and reference and use as a guide to create that hope and that optimism and that connection to purpose and
absolutely
all of those things.
And Tim, you're going to be sharing some tools in the next webinar and some frameworks around decision making in uncertainty. So we'll be able to leave our audience with some takeaways.
Yeah, I think as always in Creative Conversations, we aim to make this immediately applicable. So yeah, there'll be some specific decision-making models and tools, as well as some sort of governing methodologies for navigating the VUCA world and dealing with wicked problems.
I'm really excited about you leading this next event, because we went so deep with the community in the last one in uncertainty, and really, as you said, we can probably cover this over and over again and still cover new ground. So the 11th of March, 12:30 p.m. Sydney time, is that right?
That's right.
Yep. And there will be a link in this post to go to Eventbrite and buy your ticket. We hope to have you join our growing community.
See you then.